Right? Is this the right levels?
The right.
Are we on the level? Yeah. Are we at where we were at?
I assume that's where we were. That's where the save state loaded to.
Okay. So we're in Crabland. Those crabs are like barely keeping it together. Like they're flipping out over there.
They are derpy as fuck. All right.
Sanic. Welcome back to Sanic.
It's
been a little while since we did one of these stupid ass videos that we do. Because basically we're stupid.
We're pretty dumb.
We're pretty dumb. We had an issue with audio syncing on the last video, which we may be fixing at some point. Basically just like desynced when we did a thing and we didn't understand what had desynced it, so we thought it was like slowly getting more desynced over time, but it totally wasn't. And we could have really easily fixed that with editing, but we didn't.
We just didn't really check it before we finished the video. And
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll work on that. We'll maybe fix that one, and it should be fixed for this video. And now we can march onward at the blazing fast pace we were going at before.
At the speed of Sonic.
At the speed of Sonic. That's like what it says on airplanes that can go above the sound barrier. Just it has a picture of a hedgehog.
How do you do this? What do you do here?
You gotta be in a ball when you hit it, I think. No, like down. You can hit down and be in a ball.
Just trying to figure it out. Oh, there we go.
Like you can, it's weird. You can, it's like a proto spin dash.
I forgot how it worked.
Yeah. Like you can't actually spin dash. Like you can't create acceleration, but you can like open yourself up to the notion of acceleration or something.
Shit.
Man, this is an auspicious beginning. Okay.
What killed me?
I don't know. You just got a game over.
I did.
You just got a game over. And now we have to load the game again.
Yeah.
So. Gotta get back into it.
What did you do that for?
So I could see it. Didn't help.
Yeah, apparently.
Alright. So, I learned some things about Sonic again.
Did you?
I learned that I should grab rings. And that when you push down, you turn into a ball.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I learned about Sonic.
Nice.
That time it just worked. I didn't turn into a ball at all. Also, Sonic has a really hard head. Like, you get points for this.
Yeah, you could just farm points there.
It's like a really small amount of points, but...
It's like free-to-play MMO level rewards for things. If you only gave them like $50, then those points would be way more.
Yeah. If only you paid them, you might actually be able to play that game. Free play is really not great.
Yep. I was talking to Rex, our coworker Rex, about that the other day. So there's two like rad deep space simulation early access games out right now. There's probably way more, but there's two that like we know about. One of them is that one game, Star Citizen, by this, what is it called, Wing Commander guy. And then the other one is Elite Dangerous. And it seems like basically Elite Dangerous is way better.
Does it?
Yeah, like it's just already a game that you can play and it's fun and like complete and stuff and has multiplayer implemented and everything.
I don't understand. Like,
And Star Citizen is just like a little prettier basically, and it's got that issue. Like we've talked about this, I think, off mic before. Like the issue with like early access games and the whole like indie game culture around them is that there's this pattern. There's this like self-fulfilling, like perpetuating cycle basically, where some guy will come up with a really cool idea for a thing. Like, what if I made a game that just simulates everything? What if I made a game that's just everything?
yeah, it's like feature creep.
It's not even feature creep. Like that's a totally different problem. Feature creep is a totally unrelated different thing. It's like your eyes being bigger than your stomach basically. It's like you think you're overestimating what you're capable of. Like especially for an indie developer. So what they do is they'll be like, "Oh man, this is a rad idea."
What feature creep is.
Say what?
Maybe I don't understand what feature creep
is. I believe I coined the term feature creep.
I don't think you did, because it's
What
the internet uses.
What I think feature creep means is, because I coined the term, is it's basically when you're designing a thing and you spend so long like adding little things here and there that there's just too much goddamn shit. That's not how, like, that implies that it like happened over time, like as you iterated
like
on the process. Yeah. But the Star Citizen guy was just like, hey, here's a million fucking ideas right out of the gate. Here's like, it's way too many. It's feature explosion is what it is. It's like, here's all of the features.
Yeah.
Let's do everything. And I guess the way that I would sum up the thing that I'm trying to say is, so there's this game on Steam that's like an early access game called like fucking Dragon Simulator or some shit. I told you about that, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
So the idea is, it's a rad idea, but it's like way too wide in scope. You could do the same thing way narrower and it would be really cool, but instead they're doing a thing where it's like, you're born as a dragon and there's like 40,000 different permutations and genes that you can have or whatever, and you like evolve as your family grows and you like grow through the life cycle of being a dragon and like building your horde and terrorizing local towns, and the world is procedural, and you know, just like there's a million things to it. And the problem with that, the thing that they say about it, they have this fucking obnoxious, arrogant attitude on their like Steam Greenlight page or whatever, where they basically say like, we're gonna make the game that nice. Second game over. Awesome.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just gonna keep talking. They're like, we're gonna make the game that no AAA developer ever could, or something like that. And it's like, fuck off. No, that's the opposite of what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a game that only a AAA developer could. And you're not a AAA developer. You're 5 dudes. Like, I don't care how much money you have. Like, people think that making a AAA title is just a matter of money, but it's not. Like, it's a matter of infrastructure and experience and money, like, all combined. Like, you can't... I don't care how good you are at your individual disciplines. You can't, like... You can't just Kickstarter a thing and it'll happen. Like, getting the money for a thing is now basically trivial if you have a good enough idea and you're good enough at presenting it. People will give you goddamn money to make a thing. The issue is the follow through, and most people are terrible at it. And this is a thing that everybody, like a bunch of people predicted this when there were a couple of successful Kickstarters at first, you know? Yeah. Everybody was like, oh man, I bet this is a thing that's gonna happen. And it totally is. It totally is a thing that happens. Like, yeah, the equivalent on Steam is the whole Greenlight thing, where you can just like buy a game when it's not finished, so people can just like fart out a tech demo of a thing and then never finish it because they already got all your money, you know? Like, unlike unlike Kickstarter, where you have to meet your goal or else, you know, people don't actually pay the money or whatever. Isn't that how Kickstarter works?
you only your monetary goal. Like,
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to meet your monetary goal. At least there's some kind of limitation on it. But like on Steam Early Access, you can just take everybody's money and then not even do anything.
that's not a very big goal though. Like, it's only that 30-day campaign. Why won't it like let me jump immediately when I get through there?
Why don't you just mash A bunch?
It's just like a product of
It's like a thing in Dark
up.
Souls, you know, like when you know you're gonna really need to flask immediately as soon as it's possible to, and you know that the controls aren't that responsive, so you just mash X a million times so that you'll for sure use one. Yeah.
This is a weird dimension I've stumbled upon.
Such a wondrous, strange place. But yeah, like basically it's just a thing that I've seen happen a bunch of times, and we got suckered by Star Citizen. They were just like, hey, this is gonna be such a rad thing we're gonna make. We're professional game developers. We know how to make stuff. And they got everyone's money, and every week they're taking more people's money because they're like, you know about like ship insurance and shit, right?
Yeah.
I want my money back for that Kickstarter. Like, I'm not even gonna play that game. They're pissing me off so much.
It's pretty gross.
It's pretty disgusting what they're doing. Like they're charging so much for some of the ships that they're like cars that you need to buy insurance on because there's like perma ship destruction in the game or whatever.
Yeah.
And they think it's like a nice thing they're doing for everyone, giving you like a free year of insurance, but after that you have to pay. It's like, fuck off, fuck you right in the ear.
Yeah.
In the meantime, a developer with like realistic goals and expectations made fucking Elite Dangerous, and it's just a complete game already, basically. It's a lot more limited in scope, but it's rad. It's just got good core mechanics and stuff, and you can just play the shit out of it already. And it doesn't ask you for money every 5 seconds, and all the features are already implemented and stuff.
When I saw people playing it on Steam, I was basically just like, is this just like Star Citizen already? And it basically
and you just
is,
lost all of those rings.
Except that it's way less. It has way less features. Basically, it's just the dog fighting and going around and doing stuff.
Yep.
Seems like.
Yep. So yeah, that's what I think about Kickstarter and free-to-play and stuff.
Yeah, basically everyone started doing it after Minecraft.
Yeah. And the thing that we've said about that, the thing that we've said off mic about that I still agree with, is that the thing that's cool about Minecraft is it's just a super simple, focused idea. Notch made that shit by himself. It was just like, you can place blocks, dude.
That's the thing about Minecraft.
That's it. The game was already done, basically, and they just added a bunch of neat little bells and whistles to it, and they're always adding little things to it, but they don't add a shit ton of stuff. They just like refine already good mechanics and stuff. It's a really good game. It's basically the best game ever made.
It's one of my 2 favorite games, I think.
Basically, yeah. It's basically the best game.
Yeah.
A lot of things are trying to be it. And I think it's cool that they exist, like medieval engineers and stuff. Like, it's cool that they're... Basically everything that's an offshoot of Minecraft is like a more specific Minecraft.
Yeah.
Whereas Minecraft is super general, so you can do anything in it.
Which is cool, but ultimately kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, basically. It's kind of just...
Could just play Minecraft.
Yeah. It's really... Something that I find interesting and cool, though, about games, like... which relates to Sonic, actually, is that for some reason, maybe it's just like the way the culture has grown up around it because of how the industry started out or whatever, but it's totally acceptable to just straight up steal ideas in game development.
Yeah.
Like space engineers and medieval engineers have modes that are called creative and survival.
Yeah.
Like and they function the same way. Like, they use the same parlance and the exact same ideas from Minecraft. Like, shamelessly. They don't even try to mask it because they don't need to, because that's not a bad thing to do. I think that's super interesting, and I like that idea. I like the idea that it's okay to just straight up steal an idea if it's good. It's dumb, like, you know how Rockstar insists on having its retarded control scheme for every game?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to, like, tap A to run or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like, no other game does that because that's fucking stupid. Like, you know, some game did good third person one time, and now everybody basically just does that. You control your relative speed with movement on an analog stick. You know, the more you move it, the faster you're going. Bam, problem solved. But for some reason, Rockstar insists on being different for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing where, like, there just is an optimal solution with existing hardware and stuff. There just is an optimal solution for things like control schemes and stuff for certain types of games. Like when Bungie figured out, you know how before Halo, all of the console shooters, like Perfect Dark and stuff, had
pretty awful controls.
Yeah, they had weird controls where like one axis of your head movement was on one stick, and on that same stick you were walking around on one axis or whatever. That's the control scheme called Legacy in Halo. It's like that's how shooters used to work, and they left it in as an optional control scheme. But the control scheme they figured out, which is just like your head is one stick and your feet are the other stick, is just it just makes way more goddamn sense for the way humans' brains work and stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone since then has used that control scheme. There isn't a first-person shooter that doesn't have that control scheme now.
Yeah, they've been fucking with it a little bit, like in trivial ways, but like the basic thing about it.
I mean, that's the basic thing is just what the sticks do. Like, who cares what the buttons do? The buttons don't fucking matter. Buttons are buttons. Buttons are easy to press. You can map them to anything, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like, but the axes on thumbsticks are really important because they're like the thing you use unconsciously the most, you know?
This is devious. There we go.
Yeah, like, so Sonic is kind of the same thing. Like, Sonic is just a blatant rip-off of Mario.
Yeah,
but it's not an uninspired one. Like, you know how there's a bunch of Minecraft clones that are super crass because they're just straight up exactly Minecraft, like they don't bring anything new to the table at all.
Yeah.
Like that's totally a different thing. But like, if you just steal cool ideas from things that have inspired you and then add your own stuff to it, like this game does, and like a lot of those games that I was talking about, like Medieval Engineers do, that's cool. That's just rad. That's just like evolution of ideas and stuff. That's how we get better things. And it seems like that's less acceptable in other media. Like, I feel like people when people see any kind of similarity at all between two movies or whatever, they get all mad about it, you know, even when it's like kind of a trivial similarity or something. But in games, there's like a way higher tolerance for that.
Yeah. Wow, continues are awesome. I should try to do better at those bonus stages more.
Yeah, you just blew my mind. You didn't have to get up and be all annoying.
Yeah, plus I get 3 lives for that, I guess. So that's cool. Just like starting over, but on this level. Yeah, there's some ideas that are just so good that they basically become a genre, almost, or whatever. Like, you know, platformer, like Mario just made up like a kind of game you can be.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess basically Minecraft made up a kind of game you can be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like Terraria is a cool example of like... Terraria is like Sonic to Minecraft's Mario, basically.
And then there's a bunch of other...
Like, basically Mario is better because it's like... more the core thing that it is. Like, it's truer to what it's supposed to be. That's basically my... After watching Run Button play all of the Sonics, my conclusion about why Sonic sucks and Mario is good is basically just that Sonic just dilutes that core too much. Gets too far away from it. These early Sonics are much closer to just understanding the core mechanics of a platformer way better, and then Mario just always does. Mario is masterful. Like, every fucking Mario game that comes out is just great because it stays true to the cool core mechanic. Minecraft is like that, and there's a bunch of Minecraft games, Minecraft-inspired games that fall into the same pitfalls as Sonic. I mean, I from what I've seen, it seems like the Engineers games are kind of like that. Like, it seems like they'd be fun or whatever, but not lasting as much. Yeah, like, I would always... It's kind of like how a lot of people who are really into MMOs play a lot of MMOs, but then they always go back to, like, WoW, you know?
Yeah.
Because WoW, on a very basic level, is just kind of like the best implementation of all of those systems, like the most pure, true implementation of that. Why did you go right?
I didn't know where I was supposed to go.
But like, you can't go further to the right, so like, why would you even try to go that way?
Out? Dong. Super annoying.
Stop hitting yourself. Damn, you just fell like a motherfucker.
That's how badass Sonic is.
That was the first skydiving section in a Sonic game.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is coming at you super slow.
You slide. I slid off a ledge, and there was a giant spike ball waiting for me. I didn't see the giant fucking spike ball.
I still think about this thing that Kyle and Keith brought up one time about, I mean, they brought it up multiple times, but the whole speed argument in Sonic, like,
Yeah.
like, why don't you go faster more of the time in Sonic games? Like, that's like a theme of Sonic games is speed. Like, he's supposed to be all fast.
Yeah.
And sometimes you go fast, but it's not like even 50% of the time. It's like less than 50% of the time you're running fast. And I'm not arguing that Sonic should be an endless runner or something, but it just seems weird to me to like try to make that a thing about. It feels like a thing that's really frustrating as a little kid, because as a little kid, that's what you want to do in Sonic. You want to go fast, and then every time you try to go fast, you just hit a thing.
I think it's because that's not actually a great idea for gameplay purposes.
Basically, yeah.
Like, humans don't react fast enough for that.
Yeah. But like if
you can do it, but it has to be like designed for you to just kind of succeed automatically.
Yeah, so it just feels like a dumb QuickTime event for babbies or something.
Apparently there's just an endless pit there.
So I guess like I understand why it is the way it is, but I don't understand why they like make the promise of you're gonna go fast if you don't really go fast that much. Yeah. Like, why do you theme your game that way and then not have it be that most of the time? I don't know. Seems weird to me. Seems counterintuitive. Like, a similar thing is, you know how in the Spyro the Dragon games you can glide, but you can't fly? Like, as a kid, you totally want to fucking fly. And like, occasionally in those games, you'll do a flying level where he's just flying. Like, he gets some magic power that lets him like actually fly, and it's rad. But you don't get to do that all the time. You only get to do it sometimes. And so most of the time you're just kind of frustrated because you're playing as this fucking dude who has wings. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, why the fuck can't he flap those things?
Oh. I think I might make a save state here.
Yeah. Because you're a weenie.
I just don't want it to take forever.
Okay.
Hang on.
We are the weeniest weenies. Weenie Beanie by Foo Fighters. It's a good song. That whole album has a bunch of hilarious, silly titles. Weenie Beanie, Oh George, Good Grief.
Yeah.
Those are all like Super Dave Grohl song titles. I feel like he probably comes up with titles like that for every song ever, and then like somebody else in the band is like, yeah, that's too silly.
Yeah.
Let's tone down the silly a little bit.
Yeah, just like I could beat anything in Dark Souls legit or whatever. I just like in Sonic I kind of just
The thing is, if this was a game that we were just sitting here, whatever, like, and I'm just like playing some other game on my phone instead of like trying to kind of pay attention and talk to you and make a piece of content for the internet, then it'd be a thing. But yeah, it'd be nice to not have 16,000 hours of video to edit. Man, you sure did lose that super fast. I like how what this is going to do, because you made a save state with 1 life, this is probably going to like make it take longer than it would take if you just kept reverting to having multiple lives and having to do the level again.
I would have to do 3 levels again now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you could just move that keyboard over here and hit that function key every time you want to do that instead of getting up and being all...
It's just super scary.
Why? It's not the same function key that the video is, right? So don't hit the wrong one.
You hit it then.
Which one is it?
I don't know.
It's F5, I think. You should probably make sure of that. That should have been a thing you checked a second ago.
I'll check it next time. It's just like Sonic. I'm just basically a content tourist right now. I just kind of want to see Sonic. I don't
Yeah.
really want to put in the effort it would take to
legit beat Sonic.
legit beat Sonic.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Yeah. You're an adult with a gerb. Man, you could have hit him there and you didn't. This song is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool boss song. It's got kind of like a plodding Metallica cadence to it. I love that synth bass.
I don't get exactly how he decides when to go down.
He gets over you and then he goes down. What do you mean?
Doesn't seem that way.
Like, it seems like instead of just standing in a place, you should be moving around a bunch. So it's...
Hold on, F8, yeah. What's the record? 1, F7.
Of course it's the one right next to that one. So make sure to hit actually F8.
I don't actually know if that'll work.
Why?
Because I think I had to turn off shortcuts or something.
Oh, okay.
Even though escape still works, so I don't know, maybe it'll just work, but...
No, I mean, escape would still work even if you turned off shortcuts, because the shortcuts are just the function key ones.
Like, what I was trying to do was get him to methodically remove blocks so that I would have area. So he just like drove all the way over me that time.
Why aren't those glowing things platforms?
I don't know what they are.
Like, what's the point of them?
He just like gives up if I move.
Can't you, like, continuously bounce on his head? Why didn't you hit him twice there?
Because
Why'd you jump there? 8. Yep, it's not gonna work.
Alright. Still on our first try on Sonic.
No continues used. We're on a Dreamcast. It's not even a Genesis. Doesn't even make any sense.
This is 1991. We're on a
Genesis. Yeah,
Dream
I said
Genesis.
Dreamcast for some reason. Yeah, we're on a We're on a Genesis, and never mind the resolution of this video. We're on a really good Genesis. We got the good one that you didn't get because you were lame when you got your Genesis. There was a 720p Genesis you could have gotten.
This is frightening. Why did that kill me? I did 2 jumps.
You did 2 jumps and then you like sat there for a second and he hurt you. Like,
no, I jumped again and that time it killed me.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe Sonic's trying to tell us something about the determinism of the universe.
Entropy.
Well, like, entropy's a different thing. But yeah, that's also a thing.
No, that's I'm failing because of the breakdown of the universe.
You're failing because every second you're dying.
Yeah.
Every second you're closer to death. Man, so on our playlist at work, Time by Pink Floyd started playing today. And I was like, man, this song is great, but it's also super sad. Like, it's a super, like, British psychedelic rock is like super chill sounding and like badass, you know, just like dudes fucking mastery over their instruments, just playing the shit out of some goddamn, you know, blues scales or whatever. And that song is definitely rad. Like, it's got like a 12-minute guitar solo that kicks my ass in the middle of it and stuff. But like, if you listen to the lyrics of that song, it's basically just about like never following your dreams and slowly decaying and dying, having never accomplished anything.
Pink Floyd has some disturbing songs. So, see, that's the thing. Like, I just beat him because, like, the thing is
this
really
a new
easy.
zone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Or a new act, I mean. Or no, zone is the word, yeah. Acts are like the sub things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to beat bosses, basically, in this game. You just have to learn the patterns and whatever, and that would just take, you know, beating the level 3 times.
It's like when you have a computer problem you're trying to solve, and every time you want to try a new solution, you have to like reboot or something. You know, like, so there's a lot of overhead involved in even trying a new solution. So
exactly.
It's really annoying.
There's just overhead in trying new solutions against the boss. So
Totally.
It's like, why would I? Since I don't care that much about Sonic, actually.
That's another thing that's cool about Dark Souls design, is that even though it's a really hard, unforgiving game, it like in a way it's like less hardcore than this game, even, because it's got like a million checkpoints, and when you die, you don't lose your progress per se. Like, you're still right where you were. You're, you know,
basically,
because you go back a little bit, but it's not an unreasonable amount. It's not like, what
you go
the
back
fuck?
like
Why'd
in
I
a
go
level.
back? Yeah, you don't go back to the, like, it's like if in Dark Souls you just die every time, like, you just, every time you die, you just go all the way back to Undead, you know, Asylum.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be madness.
Or if you had like
I'm sure some guy does that. I'm sure some guy has done like an Iron Man Let's Play of Dark Souls, where if he dies one time, he deletes his save and starts over.
I mean, that's like a thing you can do in 2 to, like, there's like no bonfire runs and stuff. Like,
Well, you can do a no bonfire run, but you still, like, you don't lose your progress technically, so even without resting at a bonfire,
yeah.
like, you still have done things in the world, and that shit doesn't get reversed, you know, so you can open shortcuts and shit like that. Like, what I'm saying is, like, you literally reset you have no progress
Yeah.
on anything.
There's permadeath in a lot of games like Diablo and whatever.
Yeah.
Permadeath modes. There's
Yep.
permadeath mode in Minecraft,
Yeah.
which is cool, but like Minecraft is so stupid when you mess with the mechanics. I guess this is like the challenge is like trying to do things in Minecraft
Yeah.
while not dying, because like it's really easy to not die in Minecraft.
Yeah, you just build a little farm underground and sit there and farm continuously forever and eat. Or, just build a whole, like, you don't even technically need to eat, because when you get down to 0 meat, it just reduces you to half a heart of health and leaves you there forever. So if you have a hole with a torch in it, you can just sit in that forever.
I don't know if it does on hardcore, on hard mode or whatever, you die when you can starve to death. And hardcore is probably that mode.
Okay. Man, hardcore mode in Fallout New Vegas is fucking rad, and I don't know why you don't think it's rad.
It's
It's just super immersive and stuff. It's just like, I gotta eat that cactus because my hydration is low. It's cool. It just makes you, like, it's not really that inconvenient, but it immerses you in the game a little more because it makes you, like, do things that you would do. It makes you, like, roleplay things that you would have to actually do if you were in that situation.
You don't even having inventories limits.
Yeah, but that's a different thing. Like having inventory limits is nonsensical anyway, because the inventory limits are never realistic. Like, I would like the idea of having a realistic inventory limit. Like, you can literally carry like 5 things or whatever, that would be an interesting mechanic in a game. But to just limit it arbitrarily to you can carry 80 things or whatever, like, that's fucking retarded.
I mean, it's not like, I don't know. Hardcore mode is fine in New Vegas. It's just New Vegas that I don't like.
Yeah, I also don't understand that. I don't get why you've had so much trouble with New Vegas. It's like clients who bring in their computers and like they're like, yeah, I've had 6 of these and I've had all kinds of issues, and it's like, yeah, well, everyone else in the world has this device and doesn't have these issues with it. So
I don't know. It's just I tend to have. It's like my thought processes don't work with Obsidians, because I've had problems with all their games.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a thing where, like, how like if you were watching your mom use a computer, you would just be frustrated with her like problem solving abilities in it, because she just, like, on a very basic level doesn't have like an intuition about what is a thing. You know how like people get viruses because they don't understand when like a really dumb attack that a virus dude could make is like pop-up window that has a picture of a window inside a window, and you gotta click on the fake button in that picture of a window. And we know enough about how computers work that we can just intuitively see that that's a picture of a window. That's not an actual Windows UI thing, even. And that tips us off, but your mom just has no frame of reference for that, so she has no idea. That just looks like everything else to her. Like, you play in New Vegas for some reason, like how when you're watching somebody who's bad at video games, even less far removed a metaphor or an analogy, you're watching somebody play a video game and you can totally tell that you're supposed to go to a place. You know how designers will like cue, like in Halo, there'll be like a light over near the corridor you're supposed to go down, and that just is supposed to subconsciously cue you to go that way, but the dude you're watching is just kind of like scouring the entire room for no fucking reason. Like, it's like that. Like, when I'm playing New Vegas, I can totally tell, even though it's not that linear, I can totally tell what I am and am not going to be able to do. Like, I can look at that mountain and say, oh yeah, there's probably not I can probably not get over that, so I'm not going to spend 3 hours trying to get over that. Like, I can tell that, like, okay, I just saw a Deathclaw over there, so I probably shouldn't go over there right now. Like,
I think it's just like I played, I don't know, I was just approaching it with like the way you can approach like Skyrim or whatever.
yeah, but Skyrim's casual babby game.
But it's just like super not open world compared to that in terms of like where you can go and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot different in terms of the game design. In a way, like I was expecting, because
Man, this song is funky as shit.
I'm not exactly sure where to go right now. If I go, okay, down here. Wasn't sure what I opened.
You're about to die. Oh, the water's coming down. You didn't die.
I noticed that. And sure use a ring though.
This level looks like a Castlevania level to me. Like the way that everything's all laid out. You gotta like ascend in big shafts and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I'm excited to do some Castlevania at some point. Like, I don't know if we'll do it in this Let's Play series. I don't know if we have any on there, because most of the Castlevania I've played very recently. Like, I kind of very recently got into Castlevania.
God damn it. Couldn't get that ring. Yeah, I don't know.
But in any case, we're gonna play some Castlevania at some point, and that'll be a cool thing to do. I think we should totally do videos of that if we do it. Play fucking that one Symphony of the Night, the PlayStation one with Alucard and stuff. That'd be awesome to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be super cool. I haven't really played one except for the newer 3D one.
Yeah, and that's not a Castlevania game, so you basically haven't played one.
Yeah.
I played all of Portrait of Ruin on the DS, which is a great game, IMO. I think Ego Raptor has some kind of dumb opinions about the Metroidvanias for some reason. I think he's like a purist about like the original Castlevania or something being better because it doesn't have RPG mechanics. Because like technically, you don't have to do this, but technically there is a degree of grinding involved in those games. Like I did a little bit of grinding to get some skills maxed out and stuff like that, but I didn't find that frustrating at all. Like I didn't feel like I had to, I just felt like I wanted to like be extra badass, you know? Yeah. And I was super badass by the end of that game. Like I fucking romped that final boss. It was fucking rad. And the final boss was like hard. It was like a hard final boss, but I was just fucking pushing his shit in.
Yeah. But
I had such a rad whip. I could just like move it all around and just like not only can you throw it out, but then you can like physics it around. You can just go like, so you just like throw it in somebody's butt and then you just fuck their butt up.
Fuck their butt up.
It's like you stuck a knife in somebody and then you just twist it all around and fuck their insides up. Like it's that. Like that's what it felt like. You're just like brutally getting a million hits on a guy because of how your whip works, you know?
Yeah.
It's cool. This part of this song is so funky.
Mm. It's pretty good. But in regards to New Vegas,
yeah,
like
that's the title of a letter that Abraham Lincoln sent to his lover.
To his lover.
Yeah. To his lover Paul Bunyan.
It's just a situation where I was like going into it trying to embrace the open worldness of those games because that's like what we had talked about being cool about Bethesda games, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it just like pooped all over my efforts to do so.
Yeah.
Like, kind of wanted me to do things in a linear manner.
Not really though. Like I feel
Not
like
in-
I
not
feel
in
like
a-
your understanding of what went wrong is even flawed. Like I think you're
I don't-
like kind of understanding what happened, but not like totally. Like
What do you
yes,
mean by that?
yes, to some degree, like you're kind of supposed to be in certain areas and stuff. But it's totally open world, and you can go anywhere and do anything. You just have to like think about how you're doing it. Like
You totally can't go anywhere because there's like invisible.
well, you can't literally physically traverse any. Like you can't walk. Like in Skyrim, you can't go anywhere because you can't walk through that mountain. Like you can't like transcend the physical plane and become an ethereal being of spirit energy. Like
You pretty
like,
much can just go anywhere as long as it's within the square of the map.
Like I grant you that there's some weird invisible walls sometimes in New Vegas, but I don't find those to be often a problem. Like
What I'm saying is it's
oftentimes usually if I run into that issue, I realize, oh, they just provided me like an actual path to get there, and I'm being stupid and I didn't see that. Like it's just a thing that I didn't notice. Oh, there's a way better way to get over there that like makes more sense and is more convenient than the way I was trying to go. And yeah, it's annoying that they for some reason put an invisible wall where I'm trying to go. Like they could have just let me do that also. But whatever, who cares? I found the way that you're supposed to go.
all I'm saying is that the specific like chain of events that happened were like a series of like the game preventing me from doing the things that I was trying to do, and that seemed to go against like what I was expecting at least. And it was just like, you know, an 8-hour bunch of things that happened that just like you know, the invisible wall was like one thing that happened. It was like in this area it's, you know, there's dudes that are way too high level for me or whatever, and then I like try to go somewhere else and that place turns out to be, please give me that bubble, thank you. That place turns out to have an invisible wall, and then like go somewhere else and I'm just like prevented, like there's another quest I gotta do or something.
Yeah.
So it was just like those specific events led to like 6 hours of not doing anything actually.
I've totally had that experience in open world games before, but I've totally had that experience in Skyrim as well. Like I straight up had that exact experience in Skyrim. Like there's been times when I've been trying to like do a bunch of quests. You know, that's the thing I'm gonna do this evening in Skyrim is I'm gonna clean up a bunch of my miscellaneous quests or whatever, and I'll try to do one, and then there's some weird roadblock to me doing that. So I'll try to do another one, and then I'll waste a bunch of time trying to do that. And then I just end up quitting because I'm getting frustrated, and I'm 3 hours in and have gotten literally nothing done. It totally has happened to me in Skyrim.
I'm not saying
Like,
that it doesn't.
It's happened to me in Skyrim, and it hasn't really happened to me in New Vegas as much. And so I feel like it's less the design of New Vegas and more just like, for some reason, the emergent experience that you had.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that my thought process is
Fuck your
don't
funky
seem
part.
to jive with Obsidian, because like I always seem to have that kind of problem with some kind of problem where
Yeah.
like, the thing that I do doesn't work.
I mean, Obsidian is totally like a little bit shoddy with their everything. Like, there's always like weird bugs and stuff in Obsidian games.
It's also just like playing it after some newer games, just like not being able to sprint and stuff. It was like
Mods, bro. There's a sprint mod.
I've fixed a lot of it now. It's just like
Water's gonna go down. Oh, nice. You just had to. Oh, I just now noticed that it shows you where bubbles are gonna come up.
yeah, man.
That's almost like some good game design.
They like don't always come up.
Yeah. Get that O2, son. Fuck yeah, funky part. Just listen to that shit.
Yeah, I think it's super cool. Like, I love the writing and everything. I love the ideas.
Yeah.
It just, like, was kind of mentally taxing the first time I played it.
Man, the ending that I chose in Cass's like side quest. So Cass is the character who, like, you find her in an NCR outpost and she's like drinking her miseries away or whatever, and you're like, what happened? And she's like, well, I used to have a caravan, not anymore. And like, you know, she decides to follow you around, and after a while you figure out that her caravan was attacked by these people that you start to have dealings with, the Van Graffs or something. And so you start investigating that, and you find out like a bunch of people have been like conspiring to fuck up Cass's caravans, and so you end up having to decide whether to either like soften or harden Cass by either like showing mercy to her enemies or destroying them. And I chose the way that I play my character in New Vegas, in Fallout in general, is interesting because I'm usually super light side in KOTOR, but I'm basically the equivalent of dark side, I guess, in Fallout. I guess I don't see it that way morally. I see it as just being really conservative, essentially. Like I do what I would do in an apocalyptic wasteland. I trust no one. I err on the side of killing people instead of saving them, that kind of thing, just because I'm watching out for me and mine, you know? Like, that's the way I think about it. Like, me and my buddies. It's like a Captain Mal thing or something, you know? Like, if somebody's threatening my crew, I'll just kill them and their family because I don't give a shit about them. I give a shit about me and my family, you know? And, so, like, when Cass is being fucked with by these people, I just decided, all right, I'm going to murder them all. I'm going to literally kill every last one of them. So I like, with Cass, I, like, massacre the entire, like, trading outpost that was involved in that. You know, I kill, because it's an open world game, I kill more people than are necessary to finish the quest, you know? Like, I kill all of the people in the area, you know? And just, like, burn it to the ground, nuke it and stuff. Yeah, I bet you did, because I bet we were playing it roughly the same time and I told you how cool it was or something or whatever. And, like, when you finish that, the dialogue with her, I believe it's Chris Avalon who wrote her character, and he's great. He's, like, my favorite RPG writer guy.
Yeah.
He wrote Cass's side story, and at the end of that, the way she talks about it, she's just like, you know, people always say revenge doesn't solve your emotional baggage, but I feel fucking purified. Like,
yeah,
that's incredible. That was great. Like, the language she used, just like, I've been baptized in the blood of my enemies. You know, it's rad. And oh man, and that the biblical stuff just reminded me of how rad. What's his name is? What's his name? It's like Joseph something or whatever.
Yeah,
the burned man.
The gun.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name right now. He has the automatic pistol called A Light Shining in Darkness, and it's got like Hebrew characters on the side of it, and he like reads Bible passages to the savage natives as he culls their people and stuff. And he's rad. He like there's this DLC for New Vegas where you go on a trading caravan that gets attacked by this tribe of native guys or whatever, and you end up getting helped by this other tribe of native guys who are like cool guys, and the guy who's leading them is Joshua Graham, I think was his name. Joshua Graham.
Sounds right.
Who is the former like right-hand man of Caesar's Legion, who like betrayed him or something. I can't remember the exact sequence of events, but basically he ended up getting burnt alive and tossed into the Grand Canyon. And he's presumed dead, but then you find out he's alive, and he's like this dude who's wrapped in bandages, and he's just constantly like field stripping his gun and putting it back together, you know, and like reading passages from the Bible and shit. And he's like ruling this little tribe of guys and helping them fight against their oppressors. And at the end of that, the way that ended was rad, because it's another choice where you can like choose to either evacuate your guys or to kill all of the enemy tribe. And me and Joshua Graham exterminated the enemy tribe. And the stuff he says, like, I can't even remember what it is, but he says some rad, like, biblical shit to them as he's got a guy on his knees, like, begging for his life. And he's just like, you know, he's just like, I am the Alpha and the Omega. Then he just like puts a bullet in his skull and feels great about it. You know, it's fucking awesome. Just solving fucking problems. Solving fucking problems.
I just thought it was some cold-blooded shit to say to a motherfucker.
I never gave much thought to what it meant.